Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's morning musings is letting your expanded self steer. I've been doing a series of daily morning musings, and I've been using articles from my blog, Adventures in Density and Effort, as inspiration. So I wrote these articles a while back, and the world has totally changed since then. So what I'm going to do is read the article, and if something stands out to me that needs updating, I'll interrupt myself and go ahead and give you the update. And then at the end, I'm going to give you a summary of the changes that have happened in the world today. And also stay tuned to the end because I do have some special offers for you as well. Letting your expanded self steer. I've been experimenting with letting my expanded self take the helm, which is a little different than letting go and letting God or turning it over to a higher power. I am my expanded self. Long ago, I learned that only 20% of myself manifests through my physical form. That means the remaining 80% of me is non-physical. Now I see it as a progression of vibration from the highest, which is spirit source, to the densest, which is persona body. I've also heard it described as God self, meaning the essence of you is God. And I'm going to stop myself here because I went through a phase of describing it as expanded self, but now I just say consciousness. It's just a simpler term. And back then, yes, only 20% of myself may have manifested through physical form, but we have gone through such enormous shifts that our physical form has been upgraded and can encompass higher vibration than before. So more of you as consciousness is embodied in form, which also means you're having a much bigger awareness in the world, more highly intuitive, more empathic, more sensitive. And all of that comes about because more of the infinite you is in form. Back to the article. So in playing with letting my expanded self take the helm, sometimes this means just going about my day in a highly aware state with all my choices and actions intuitively driven. And then some days things aren't so clear, which is when it's good to relax and let my expanded self make it happen. And this is written clearly from the perspective of me being a personality and having an expanded self. But you know, our personality does like to run the show. It likes to feel like it's in charge. So when you do feel like you really want to control your reality, it is best to kind of let it go. And then you as consciousness are effortlessly creating the reality all around you. Back to the blog. A couple of examples. The other day I was driving onto the ferry because I live on an island, and most of the cars on the dock were in one lane. It didn't open up to two lanes until several yards before the loading ramp. As I drove up there, the left lane was completely empty. Now, I knew from prior experience that at that point it's okay to move over to the empty lane, but for some reason I couldn't make up my mind to do it. So I sat with the feeling of indecision as I boarded the boat. And at that moment, the ferry worker directed my side of traffic, pointed at me, and gestured me to the left lane. My expanded self, myself as consciousness, had decided for me. And afterwards, as I was driving off the boat on the other side, I realized that was the better lane for me to be in because I had to turn left when I got off the dock anyway. A similar thing happened in a meeting a couple of weeks ago. There were a lot of people present, and I'm conscious that there's not enough time for everyone to share, so I usually don't talk. But I had that same feeling of indecision, so I sat with it until it came a break in the conversation and I found myself speaking. My expanded self had chosen, or myself as consciousness had chosen. It's really a matter of trust. Trusting my expanded self, myself as consciousness, is on my side. It is me after all, and has my best interest at heart. Therefore, everything that is unfolding is beneficial to me. It's amazing what happens when you have this awareness. People and things pop into your personal hologram in the most entertaining way, or for the most amusing reasons. People exit your hologram, and circumstances change in surprising ways as well. It feels like having the most talented screenwriter director in your life, which you do because it's you as consciousness. Life stops being a soap opera and starts being a romantic comedy or action adventure, sci-fi, whatever you prefer. Reality becomes something to enjoy, to savor, to take deep pleasure in, but it's not something that batters you about or tosses you like a leaf upon the ocean. So realize it's not about putting your life on cruise control, rather letting the greater aspect of you take the wheel. Change happens faster, more effortlessly, and with greater possibilities than you, the smaller part of you, can imagine. I invite you to try this and see what happens. So I think we're all going through an experience of evolution where we are becoming more and more conscious. We're embodying our forms with more and more consciousness, making our choices and our actions from a higher perspective of consciousness. And you can really internally tell when you're operating as your small self, your personality that is part of your limited physical form and embodies all the limitations and restrictions that you were programmed with growing up. And even that's kind of a story. So when you shift to navigating as consciousness, then life does become unlimited. It becomes easy and effortless, and you don't really have to try. It just unfolds. So it is a process of just noticing how are you in the moment. And if you're really feeling the need to change, fix, and manipulate the hologram and all the people in it, then you know that you're not operating as consciousness, you're operating as your little self. So I invite you to play with this, shift your perspective to consciousness, let go of trying to change the furniture and the scenery, and see what happens. So if you have any experiences to share, please leave a comment below. I love to read your comments. And also, if you'd like to have a free sample of one of my consciousness techniques, click on the link below for the skybox technique. It'll give you an expanded experience of what is going on in your life today. And if you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. I do individual sessions where I take a look at the essence of who you are and what's going on in your life today, and I can answer any questions that you might have. So if you want to learn how to do this for yourself, go to my website, joan-newcomb.com. I have a coaching special that's tailor-made just for you. I work with you one-on-one, and I give you consciousness techniques that are specific for helping you transform your life. So go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you tomorrow in another Morning Musings.